right, everybody. On the Next Step Bodybuilding podcast, we have my good personal friend, IFBB Pro, Bikini, Stephanie, and I can never pronounce your last name. Fierro. Stephanie Fierro.
Or if you want to get like real fancy, you can roll the R's.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at that either. So
Okay, good. It's like I've watched Dora the Explorer, but some of the the language lessons I didn't pick up very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing over there in Phoenix? How's everything going?
Just trying to get swole. Just trying to get big. Story of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just training really hard and doing the same stuff that I've been doing over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding.
Right. It's what is the phrase? It's bodybuilding, not body built. I was actually telling one of the guys, I'm kind of like helping out, getting him ready for a show in India out here. And I was telling him, it's like, all the old pros that I talk to, they say they really hit their stride. Like, especially the guys, right? They'll tell me this, they hit their stride at like 32. So I'm like, all right, cool. I've got a little bit more time.
Yeah. So, looking at the Olympia lineup from this past year, the most recent one.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of getting down on myself because I was like, I'm going to have to go against, 20-something soon. But looking at the Olympia lineup, they're in their 30s as well. So I was like, okay, I still have time to get to where I want to be.
Yeah, I think like with the amount of pros there are now, and like just longevity that people are experiencing within the sport and how they're able to maintain their bodies for longer. Like I could see the judges giving the nod to some of the older athletes, right? Not just because like they've seen them so much and they've had that much more time to develop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their craft, and not just like their physique, but also posing, which is like one of my focuses this year. It's like, all right, definitely always want to come in bigger, drier, crispier, right? Want to look like fried chicken and bacon on stage.
Yeah.
But it's like some things these Olympians have is that stage presence. And it's like,
oh yeah,
I think I'm pretty good, but it's like, there's definitely levels to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to know, like talk me through like this last year's Olympia. Like, what did you see? Because for me, like, it's like all the girls look great. I don't know how they pick. It just seems like a name in a hat. They pick one and like they're Miss Olympia. Same can be said for men's physique. The top two between Brandon and Ray, like it could have gone either way. It is what it is. But help me understand what it is to like be a bikini competitor and like what are they actually looking for at the pro level?
At the pro level, I think it comes down to conditioning and overall balance. And again, as you stated prior, stage presence. Stage presence comes I think majority of it. And so you want to make sure that you are posing and angling to your physique.
Yeah.
And I've noticed with some of the routines, simpler is a little bit better, the better route to go. Because I think with myself, I've taken out a lot from my routine. Because you got to remember, you're up there. The judges are looking at your flaws. They're not worried about anything else. They're just trying to break your physique apart to see what you need to be working on.
Yeah.
So I've and then even Tamer from Muscle Contest, he said, ladies, just keep your poses, just get to your poses, and then, because that's basically what they're just judging is your physique. So the more that you're trying to showcase could be a hindrance, at the end of the day. So.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense, right? It's like, keep it simple, stupid. The longer you're up there, the more things they can pick apart, especially if you're not hitting your good angles, your good shots, like, why mess around there? Okay. Yeah, it's really hard because, like, I'm married to Kendall, right? And she's in bikini, and I'm like, it took me about a year and a half, maybe 2 years to figure out what an actual tie-in is.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what are they looking for?
It's not an actual, muscle, but it's just the attachment to the glute and hamstring. And so that's called the tie-in. So.
Yeah.
Which is really hard for me to get. So one day, when I am super lean, I'll have it.
Okay. I think you get lean. Like I was looking at your post from over the last like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh shit! And you just posted something I think yesterday, maybe a back or a shoulder workout, and it's like
Yeah.
you get really dry from the outside in, especially top down, really quick. So I'm just like, man. I look at your conditioning, and I'm men's physique, but I'm like, she's got some great conditioning. I wish I had ab veins like year round like you.
Yeah, no. So the great thing is, like, because I'm so tiny, I can add on as much size. And so, like, again, it's just the illusion that you bring to stage and depending on, like, what your physique is. And so everyone's made a little bit different. I think, as I stated in my last interview, you just got to work what God gave you. And so God gave me the task of getting really big.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel you on that. So what have you been working on like this last off season till now? Like what areas are you focusing on to put on, that size and trying to get swole, as you say?
A little bit more emphasis on training my legs this year and just getting more development in my glutes. And
Okay.
so that way, when I do lean out entirely, they're still round, not flat. I
Yeah.
think that's been one of my issues in the past is, again, I shred from top to bottom. And so certain detailing as I lean out kind of flattens out just because of lack of muscle in certain areas. And so I've been trying to get my legs a little bit more developed so that way this time around when I do get lean, I have nice legs.
More tissue there. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I definitely wanted to talk to you, because I've known you for like a couple years now, like several years. How has your like training switched over the years? I remember last year you came to that conclusion, I want to say, and it's like, man, I've seen you lift in the gym, I've seen you on IG, I see how you train, and then when I talk to you, like when I'm in town and stuff, it's like I know you love Ronnie Coleman, and you just want to go lift heavy ass shit. So it's like.
It just takes all my energy out. I like it. And to me, the style of training that I participate in, it has to have a lot of mental focus. And so I still try to lift heavy with control, but with that requires a lot of mental focus. And that's what I get a kick out of, just because my mind tends to wander a lot and then I get bored. So Bo, my coach, he still has to, create a program for me so that way I'm still like entertained. And then so like in my off season, he'll be like, just have fun. And so deadlifting to me is fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll do. But just because I don't want my low back to get too developed, I kind of have to back off a little bit. So he tries to structure it where I'm still entertained, but I'm still pushing myself.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I also empathize with that. Like, I come to the gym because it's fun and enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I want to structure my workouts kind of like that as well.
And that's how like I, got into bodybuilding is just, I wanted to work on myself. I wasn't really caring how I looked. I just liked how I felt when I was working out. And so as I got continuously competitive and then as I turned pro, that kind of took a backseat because it's now, okay, this is your career in a sense. And so you're supposed to bring your best physique each time. And so that's in itself very stressful.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're constantly trying to beat your last package. And so it becomes a job. And then you're like, it's not fun no more. And so this past year, I've been just trying to dial it back and get back to like how it was in the beginning. And so just, I just, Coach Bo, he was like, just have fun. And I was like, okay.
And how was it? Did you get back to like, the days of lifting before you turned pro? Did you have fun? Did you like accomplish that goal?
Yeah, I kind of was able to get in a few PRs, you know, and I like getting PRs.
Yeah.
That's not everyone's thing, but I like to lift heavy. And I like to lift as much as I can. And if I wasn't in bodybuilding, I'd probably be in powerlifting.
Yeah.
And so even before I got into competitive bodybuilding, I had to make the choice: do I go into powerlifting or do I go into bodybuilding? And so I obviously went bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But I do like attending powerlifting events just because the atmosphere. It's a different atmosphere, and then I don't know. I think it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So
I just got old early and knew like I don't care about the weight anymore. After I tore my
Oh,
ACL,
now I can't.
yeah, it's
Now
like
I'm like,
I look at the
so
heavyweight. I look at some young kids. There's like these two young guys. There's three of them actually. They're
yeah,
like fresh out of high school, 18, 19, whatever.
and they're
And they're just like, I just see them all the time deadlifting. And I'm like, they've got good physiques, like good structure. So it's like, let me know when you're tired or get bored of lifting heavy weights and realize like you just really want to look pretty and have a pump. Like I got you there.
oh yeah. And then now it's and then after getting back into this prep,
Yeah.
it's now okay. Just control the weight, get more of a pump. So I'm not necessarily aiming for PRs. It's just more muscle-mind connection, activating
Yeah.
the muscle, and just sticking to hypertrophy rep range. So that way, I just keep building.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned like muscle mind connection. So you know Frank, he's actually like I love training with him because he makes me focus on the
Yeah,
muscle movements and insertion points and
yeah,
all these things. And I'm from Texas, so I just want to be like Branch Warren and Ronnie Coleman and lift heavy ass shit all the time.
yeah,
But he's really slowed me down, and over the last couple of months, it's like, okay, yeah, especially in like my chest development, it's focus, squeeze, use the muscle, and I've actually implemented some like e-stems into my training
okay,
protocols, which is like really it's fun and engaging, and it's different. The pump is different,
mm-hmm.
so I enjoy that. But I've definitely like you said, focusing on the muscle and the weight and the squeeze and all of that, and I think
Yeah.
it's helping. I'm staying full.
And with myself in training, I started allowing people to train me because in the past before I wouldn't like I was like I'm gonna do my own thing, leave me alone, don't talk to
Yeah.
me, you know.
All right,
Don't even
I'm gonna
look at
stop you
me.
there because I see you in the gym. You're so fucking intense.
Oh yeah, no, I'm and I still am.
Yeah,
But again, I'm trying to be much more open and welcoming, so
yeah,
I'm not as bad. I'm a lot better, as I said a while back. I'm still
yeah,
working, but there are some days where I'm just like, please don't talk to me, and it's just I like to be zoned out, you know. So, but I am now allowing other people to train me, and I kind of like it.
yeah,
It's a different type of focus, and now it's just me again, allowing people to instruct me, so that way I can actually feel the muscle. Because again, like my brain wanders, and so
yeah,
sometimes the like hindrance of listening to music when you're working out, you just get zoned out. And
yeah,
so having someone like a coach train me, it's much easier because then they're like, hey, if I'm slacking anywhere, they're able to like
yeah.
push me. So
It's definitely it's yeah. I love training with like someone or a coach. It's a different push. It's a different focus.
mhm.
Um, it's like a
Training
really,
partner.
do I?
Training partner, no. I can't do a training partner just because I don't like to conversate. So a coach, yeah. So that way, you know, they tell me what to do this, X, Y, Z. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
But a training partner, no. I don't want to know about your day. I'm here to work out.
Oh
That's
my
just me
God.
being honest.
It's just so true because like I've seen you in the gym, like we've been working out at the same time, and it's like I've learned to just wave at you, and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If she acknowledges me, like it is what it is. Like I'll talk to her when she's done, or we'll chat up later. Um, so it's just funny to hear you like actually verbalize that and say that.
Oh yeah, no, and again, I'm trying to be much nicer.
Yeah,
And so if people do approach me, I try to make it very short. I'm like, I'm going to lose my pump. So as long as, you keep it within my rest period, I'm okay.
yeah, yeah.
But other than that, just keep walking.
I just
So,
did an interview with John Hawkins. He is a classic pro up here, and he literally said the same thing. He's like he'll superset and giant set like his entire workout. So when he's resting, he's got 90 seconds. So when people want to talk to him, it's like you better fit within that time frame. I
oh,
gotta
yeah.
go. Yeah,
No, you have to. It's because, you're doing a job,
yeah.
So,
It's definitely different. It's once you get to like this level or top level like national competitor, there's a different focus. Like there's a big goal you're trying to achieve. I think we're all trying to achieve something, but it's just different. It's like right there. You're so close, and it's like keep pushing. Don't let anything distract you. So I get it. But so one thing is like what has been different about this year and the off season and all of that. I know everyone's still got Corona going on, but
Yeah.
but what's been different?
Well, my whole entire life.
Yeah.
So, just me, to be honest, just working on my mental health and just trying to get to a better place. And so my whole entire personal life went up into flames after, I want to say, in the summer. And so it's just me readjusting and slowly getting back into society and, just working on my self-esteem and trying to beat my last package. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I think the only thing that has kept me fully focused is just my love for bodybuilding. So
Yeah.
although everything else went up in flames, I can focus on bodybuilding, and that's it. So, and training others. I'm a personal trainer. So
Yeah.
while I'm not training people, I'm just literally in the gym or at home with my dog. So
Yeah. And we see a lot of your dog. He's so cute.
yeah.
Onyx, right?
Yeah, Onyx.
Yeah.
So Husky 9, he's getting a little old, so
Ooh. Okay, that's all right. He's still got a long life ahead of him.
yeah.
But seriously, that's great to hear. Like you, as a personal friend of me, Kendall, my little family, my little unit, the people I associate with. Like it's good to hear that. Like you're focusing on you, mental health. COVID's been a hell of a year, right? If you're not in therapy or some shit, like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Oh no. So again, after my life went up into flames, I had to go to therapy, and so it's just me. And I literally, when I went, I thought, something was wrong with me because I went to therapy long ago in my earlier 20s, and so I was like, I'm good. And then things happened, and so I was like, okay, I need to check myself back in.
Yeah.
So I always thought there was an underlying problem with me. And then my therapist, he was like, no, Steph, you're just stressed.
Yeah.
That was the greatest news. That was the greatest diagnosis anyone has ever told me. It's like, you don't have any problems. You're just really stressed. And so I've been functioning at a high stress state for a very long time. And so a lot of things are just normal to me. And so this year, just me taking a step back and learning to, work through certain things, and I don't have to, just create boundaries. I don't have to do something if I don't want to, just allowing myself to be human and accepting certain emotions, but not reacting or getting triggered by something. So
yeah, even when I hear that, it's like even if you like physically have the same weight, stage, muscle, whatever, it's like, oh, my first thought is like, oh, your cortisol levels are going to be way down. Like if you're able to implement these things come show day, like you're going to be not only a better person leading up to show day, but also on show day, you're not going to be holding as much water. So like, yeah, I'm super happy for you.
And then my body gets affected by stress very easily.
Oh, yeah.
And so earlier this year, I got really sick for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I ended up in the ER.
Oh.
So I had to go to urgent care. They're like, no, you need to go to the ER. I was like, okay, because I got a fever. And I had like severe abdominal pain. And so I was like, what's going on? And then I thought I had corona. And then they tested me. I got 2 tests. One, I got like a rapid test, and then it was very unpleasant. And then at the urgent care, they're like, well, do another one. I'm like, please don't. I just got one. It said it's negative, but I let them anyway. And they did it in both nostrils, and that was horrible.
Yeah.
And so by the time I got to the ER, I was like, you're not testing me. I don't have it. So they had to, what was it? They put me in the little that spinning thing,
like a CT scan.
I had to get a CT scan. So they made me drink some. No, it was an IV, and then to whatever. And so it just said that I had inflammation in my colon. And so after that, I had to go on a very bland diet. And then this was me like about to start prep. So I was just like oh no, there goes all my gains because I wasn't able to eat any protein for a while.
Okay.
And so.
Did you have to go on the bulk diet? I think they call it.
I had to go on
Oh,
like
bland.
a bland and just a bland. So I
Okay.
can only eat like white rice, bread, potatoes,
Yeah.
all carbs. But for like the first week, I was like, yeah. Because this is stuff I never got to eat for a while. I was just living up eating mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
So, but after that, after the week passed, I was like, I'm done with this. So I immediately went back onto my regular diet because I figured going back onto my diet, I should be okay, which ended up happening. So
Good. I'm glad you're feeling better, like physically too. Like that's especially now. Like anything, if you get sick, it's like stress.
And that moment scared me because I was like, it kind of reminded me like I really need to take care of my body because one thing that can affect you, your whole entire like love for the sport is gone. And I was like, oh no. So that put everything into like perspective, like, okay, like you really need to be cautious of what you're doing. So
Yeah, gotcha. That's great. Like happy for you. Seriously, keep working on yourself. I think we said, I don't know, before or during this is like, it's called bodybuilding, not body built, right? You're never complete. I'm pretty sure Ronnie would say there's still a couple of things he'd want to work on, and there's a lot of things I want to work on.
and then again, with that being said, so I think after my last competition, I was still lean, even as I was in my off season. And then I did a like a body scan, and it said I was around like 12-13%. And this is when I thought like in my mind that I was nowhere lean. And so that test in itself kind of like, okay, you need to dial it back. And so it's just body dysmorphia,
Yeah. We all joke about it, but it's kind of serious sometimes. Like we were driving home from the gym, so I just got back, right? We just trained at a little gym called Vasa. They're in Phoenix. There's spots everywhere. But I was coming back home, and I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, thanks for recording, a couple of my shoulder movements. But I was like, I only felt like I looked good in one of them, like shoulder press, and that was it. And it's like, but David, like, you look good, but it's still something in the back of your head where it's not good enough. You look at your peers, and I'm one where I'm not like super vascular, but I see all the guys I compete with, and I'm like, oh, how are they so vascular? How are their veins everywhere all year round? And it's like, that's just them. But we're at the stage where I've seen you on stage in person, right? I know how you play. It's like we're definitely doing the thing we should be doing, right? We are competitive, right? But there's still something in the back of our heads that tells us like we're not there yet. We're not done.
And I think it's just us accepting feedback from the judges and knowing, okay, like we can still look much more better than what we present. The competition, which is kind of exciting if you think about it, because if you think, okay, you brought your best, but then you're told, okay, but you can do better, then that's a challenge, and I'm always up for a challenge. So
it keeps you going, right? That's kind of like when I think about like one of the reasons why I started competing, and I was in a different place. It was in Washington, kind of by myself. I had some really good friends out there, but I would always, my friends came from the gym, right? So it's like, I was always going to go to the gym. Why not like go on stage and get some good, cool pictures, and have those for a lifetime. And that's just kind of how I like transitioned to bodybuilding. I was like, I'm going to be here already. Might as well just do the other part. So cool. We're always keep improving. Cool. So what do you have lined up next?
The next show that I'll be participating will be Muscle Contest, and that's going to be in San Diego, May 8th, Night of the Champions, and so a few weeks away, I think about 6-7. I'm like, where are my veins? And this is the first time I had to go on a meal prep plan, so I haven't gone on a meal plan. I'm So but I was like, you're going on a meal plan. And I was like, oh, shoot. So that's how you know it's serious.
I'm going to call Bo and tell him I said thanks. I'm a big fan of meal plans. It makes it cut and dry, right?
Oh, yeah, no, autopilot. Yeah, I just do whatever the plan says, and I don't have to worry about anything else. And I think, again, I've approached prep a lot different this time around, and it's just now, what can I do most optimally for me at the headspace that I'm in, and how can I beat my last package?
Yeah. Definitely want to get into that, like what else you've done. But tell me, what has it been like to switch from macros to meal plan? Because I've done both. But when I got with my coach, Dustin Sensat, he was a meal plan guy. And obviously I've kind of done well with that. Turning pro, winning a couple shows, like winning some NPC shows and turning pro and competing at the professional level. How has it been for you? Because I know you like your Oreos and your Jolly Ranchers.
Anything sugar. So that's basically why I got on ADHD, because I had to cut out a lot of stuff, and I was starting to get really bad cravings, and then I just wasn't sticking to the plan, and so I was like, okay, just make a plan, and then I'll just do it, and it just. Because I was having a hard time, like, kickstarting my prep, because I do well one week, and the next thing you know, like, I'm eating something that I shouldn't be eating, and so that's when it's just, like, I'm back to starting point A, when I need I'm on a timeline. There's no room for error. So I was like, okay, what can I do different? And so that was the meal plan.
Okay.
So that was good. I liked it. Same stuff. I don't care. I'll eat it. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And then, but now I'm carb cycling. So,
nice.
So it's gonna get worse.
Oh, you got some. Are there high days, or are they like medium days and then low days?
Oh, all low, and then the weekend. I wouldn't even consider it a high carb day. It's more moderate. So I was like, okay. So, and I haven't, and because I haven't competed, I felt like in a while, I'm like, okay, I'm remembering what prep is.
Yeah. It's like you always want to be like, when you shred, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get big. And then when you're big, you're like, oh, I want to be shredded again.
Yeah.
But has like the meal plan been easy to implement for you? And have you seen like the results that you were expecting?
I kind of liked it because it just gave me, again, much more structure that I needed than I was giving myself at the time. And so I have a lot of moving parts in my life right now. And the less I could think about, the better for me. And so, again, I operate better on autopilot.
Yeah.
So just have me do what I need to do. One less thing to worry about. Yeah. And then that way I can just keep moving forward.
What I found with meal plans, like I really enjoy them. You always want the update. It makes my life easier. It's like that Steve Jobs thing where it's like, he's going to wear RIP. He's going to wear a black turtleneck and blue jeans. It's simple. Like he doesn't think about it. He just puts on a fresh pair. For me, it's like, it's the same way. It's like, oh, I know what I'm going to have. Just scoop it out of the container, throw it in the microwave and eat it. And then go on about whatever the hell I was doing, which is great. And I can get on the autopilot. But anytime I get a new plan, it takes me like a couple days to like readjust to the meals. It'll be, instead of like, 2 cups of rice, then the next time it'll be 6 ounces of red potato. And I'm like, I messed up. Just because I'm still on autopilot. And I'm like, that was last week's plan. I'm on a new plan this week.
Yeah. No, so there was one morning where I ran out of sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And so, because I'm really good at flexible dieting and macros, I told Bob, I was like, I had to substitute with Kodiak cakes. And he was like, oh, okay, sure. And so I was like, I really did run out of my food. And so I just always make sure that you're prepared and that you have enough food for the week. And so now I'm on low carb, so I don't even think that it's much of a meal plan. So it's just I'm trying to eat more greens
Yeah.
on the low carb days, so that way I get as much micronutrients in as possible. But that's
Yeah.
the only difference. And so I think the only difference with the meal plan versus flexible dieting, I just want to make sure that I was consuming enough vitamins, so
Yeah.
that way I'm able to recover very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Like have optimal blood work and all that stuff. Like even
Hmm.
Kimberla, she went to the doctor, I think last week, the week before, and we're bodybuilders, right? So
Hmm.
she was explaining to the physician like her typical diet. It's like it's a lot of protein, it's a lot of this, and the doctor was just like appalled by what she thought was the limited macro or micronutrients. So Kimberla comes back with like a bag of like colorful bell peppers. She's like she my doctor said I need more color in my diet. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Uh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's really cute. Yeah, definitely. We gotta. This is a hard sport, right? And
Hmm.
we look great, but we're not the healthiest. Come show day, right? There's a lot of things we have to do to get there. Um, so it's just yeah, we got to take our health, first, like you said a while back. It allows us to be bodybuilders.
Yeah, and then with that being said, I think like we know what we're signing up for, and so there are going to be certain time periods where you're going to be able to push your body for a short amount of time
Yeah,
to get to where you need to be. But just remember, it's only a short amount of time, and so it's not a long duration. So yeah, we can push our body to the extreme. It's fine if you do it in short bursts, but not like long term.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, so.
So what are you looking forward to most about May 8th and getting back on stage?
Well, I've been working on my stage presence. So I've been practicing my posing a lot. And then
Yeah.
I've been also doing posing classes out in Fitness One with
Yeah.
Luis. And so it's just me trying to get comfortable again and trying to add more flair to my posing routine and working on some of the transitions. And so I think because I'm so narrow. I have to learn how to open up my back when I do my back pose.
Okay.
Some of the girls are a little bit broader, and so I'm just like
Ah,
trying to pose myself so that way I showcase my physique in
yeah.
the lineup.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely stage presence. Kind of talked about that. And I've noticed like I think last week or the week before you started doing the posing classes. So it's really cool. Like you get back and then if you're able to teach it, you're able to like understand and do it better.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
That's really awesome. Nice. Okay.
And I like it. And then also I talked to one of the Arizona judges because I eventually want to become an MPC
Yeah.
judge and then go from there. So I was told like the procedure of how to become one, and so hopefully in the future, the next time you guys see me, that I may be an MPC judge. So I really like bodybuilding, and I was like, I could look at bodies all day. So sign me up, you know.
Okay. Well, we're going to actually be in town in like 2 weeks, so I don't know how quick the process is. So you'll see us pretty soon.
Oh no, it's gonna take a while,
Yeah.
and plus I have to like study the other divisions because I think you have to get a certain score and it has to be
Yeah.
matching the other judges, and so you get 3 attempts, and you have to make sure that you score within what they're scoring,
Yeah.
and then that's how Arizona works. I'm not sure about the other states, but
That's
we'll
how every
see.
other state I've heard of, from like Washington to Texas. You've got, I think it's like got to be like 85 or 80%
Hmm.
in the range of
Hmm.
the judges.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I still wouldn't know how to score like bikini.
Hmm.
I'd be way off. NPC, I can get a little close. Like I can definitely do men's physique, classic, and bodybuilding. But when it comes to the female divisions, like I, I'm okay with saying I don't understand some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very subjective,
Yeah.
apples and oranges. So.
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, you got a lot of good things to look forward to. Like you got the show, working on being a judge, posing, your clients. What else has been keeping you busy? What have you been like enjoying? You've been taking more walks, watching movies. Like what else has been keeping you busy?
I've been reading more, going outside more, taking Onyx on walks. He loves the dog park. Like
Yeah.
he'll drag me every day to go, and so it's just trying to get out of my bubble and just allowing myself to be more vulnerable and open with others and trying new things, hanging out with people,
Yeah.
making friends. You know, not that I don't have friends, but just allowing people to come into my life because I've been so guarded for so long, and so just allowing certain barriers with time,
Yeah.
so that way I can give back and like, you know, just how do I say it? I just want to give back to the sport, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's really it's always funny. Like we're adults now, and it's
I know.
making friends. Like in school, we're like locked up in a cage for 8 hours a day. So it's like, you know, it was like a fraternity. You're all pledging together. You're all going through the same struggles. Like you found your friends very quickly from day one in preschool. You had friends.
Yeah.
But as an adult, it's definitely different. It's like you need to have like some commonality, bodybuilding, comment, or you know, something to bring people together. So that's awesome. Like it's definitely hard. I think everyone recognizes that's an adult. It's not easy making friends.
And then finding friends with your own interests. And so because we are bodybuilders, it's very hard to find people where, you know, they live not like a healthier lifestyle, but a more structured lifestyle where you guys are able to participate and do the same things without seeming like you're a crazy person. So, and I try to be very flexible with everyone. And then I'll let them know, like, hey, I'll show up. I can't participate in X, Y, Z, but I would still love to be amongst your guys' company. And so now, because I walk Onyx a lot, I go to the dog park a lot, and a lot of people, like, know me. They're like, hey, Steph. I'm like, hi. And so I started to know a lot of people because I live in the downtown area. So I'm starting to know a lot of familiar faces. So this is all new to me, a lot of transitioning. And so I like it.
That's awesome. Good. I remember, I think last year, it was like a month before COVID was like it's now a COVID. Me and Kendall went to a party, like a company party, and there was a bunch of younger adults, right? 25, 30 to 35. And there was a whole room. The garage was all set up for beer pong. So I was like, I'm definitely going to play. But I played with LaCroix.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, we definitely have to make those adjustments. And it's hard to sometimes even be in that same environment. It's like, oh, man, those chips do look good.
And it is hard, and so and it's not like you have a fear of missing out, but there are certain parts where I'm like, oh, I wish I could allow myself a little bit more flexibility, and so that's what I've been doing this entire past year. Just I'm I'm still living the structured life, but allowing myself to have fun, and I think that's what's really important. Just finding that balance of have your moments of fun, but also get back to work.
Yeah.
Which in the past, I think I was just constantly work.
Yeah.
And then now, under different circumstances, I realized I lived a very sheltered life. And so meeting new people, I thought I was not on the wild side, but just meeting new people, I'm like, okay, you guys live far different than how I live. And so not that I'm judging, but I do like my bubble,
Yeah, your bubble's safe. It's comforting, right? But it's what do you mean you don't go to the gym all the time? What do you do?
Yeah, no. And so in the past, all I did was work and go to the gym. That was my life.
Yeah.
So now it's just me allowing myself to go to certain events, and it's kind of hard facilitating that through COVID, but in where I can go, I'll go. So
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, gotcha. So far you have a show planned for May 8th. Mm-hmm. I think there's a show called City Limits. It's in Texas, May 15th. I think there's a bikini division if you want to come.
Oh, is there?
I'll have to double check, but I know it's men's physique, and I think it's Bikini Pro too.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'll have to
So
look it
if
up.
I can have an extra week,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah.
If I have an extra week to get more conditioned,
Yeah.
yes, I'll have to look into that because my Desiree and Adam, they live out in Texas, and
Yep.
so I would like to see them again. They're good fun.
Come through. I'll have a spot for you, Mama McGee's house, right down the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, no, and I know there's another one in June. So I've been trying to like pick shows that are close by me, so that way I don't have to travel too far.
Yeah.
And then there ended up being one here in Arizona in April, but I didn't know that, and I was like, that's
What?
disappointing because I could have. Yeah, so there's one in April here, and had I known, I would have obviously done it.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, a lot of shows changed last minute, and
Yeah.
so
No.
I wasn't prepared for that, and I was like, I'm not trying to. No.
Yeah. Don't get on stage before your time. Well, what
Yeah.
time is it? I'm surprised. Like I haven't even heard about it.
I don't even remember.
Okay.
But after I found out, I was like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know for me, I was like hitting up the promoter, Dave Bowers. He runs the shows up here, and he's putting on the Indie Pro. He's done it for the last several years, and I was like, Dave, get men's physique. Like, come on, just get it out, like get it approved, like it'll be fine. I'll get a bunch of guys to show up.
and Arizona had a lot of bikini pro shows prior to me turning pro, and then once I turned pro, that all dissipated.
I know.
So now I'm just like either California or Texas.
Yeah. I think the Texas judging panel will appreciate your physique. So I'm encouraging you to come compete in Texas. I think it'll be great. I know.
I want to.
Yeah.
I just have to convince my coach. He's like, you already have your. Basically, he just tells me make up my mind,
Yeah.
so that way we can move forward. And so I told him California, but I'll have to check May 15th because
Yeah.
that's So we'll see.
To hop, skip, and a loop over. So that's, yeah, okay. So May 8th. Cool. So man, really, like, I'm trying to think what else I have for you today. Anything new you want to plug?
No, I'm still working with the same people. I'm a very loyal person. So my coach, Bo knows, he again built me from the start, and I'm still working with him. A different dynamic, as everyone knows, in my personal life, but we're still good. And so I appreciate him as a coach. He understands my physique, and I wouldn't have it any other way. GAT supplements, they are still very kind to me and doing a lot for me. And so I just love NitroFlex so much. And so I take that right before every workout. And if I don't have it, it's not going to be anything. So you just got to find what works for you. And then my suit designer, CJ Elite.
Yeah.
So I'm going to still be sticking with the same color, green. I almost went with red. And so I was like, let's go with red. And I was like, no, stick with green. So I'm going to be wearing green.
Okay.
And Louise,
Yeah.
right now.
Green looked good on you. I remember last year we were having this debate. And I think even one of the judges in Texas, Sheila Brown, she goes by like Flexi Brown on IG.
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
yeah,
green.
I follow her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Green's just a good color. It pops well,
Yeah.
especially if you have a dark skin complexion. You want something that's not like too like out there, but something that like makes you stand out.
Yeah.
So you pick a color that's right for your skin tone, and so green's mine.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's cool. Okay.
And then my training partner, he's a coach out in, I want to say like North Phoenix. I'm like,
You're a weather girl?
it is that way. But Luis from Fitness One, he has his own competition team starting up here in Arizona.
Nice.
And so we're just trying to build bodybuilding out here in Arizona and just trying to get Arizona known for the quality of what we have out here. So I've been working with him, and he's been pushing me in training.
That's awesome.
And what else? My mom, my little sister, my support system. Without you guys, friends and family, like I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
So you guys definitely, keep me in check and hold me together. So thank you again, everyone. And, that's it, you know. So
That's awesome. I'm the same way. We're nothing without our support team.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And the crazy thing is, like I have to constantly tell myself, like, you're not alone, because sometimes in prep, like you feel completely alone, and then I'm like, no, you have friends who are there for you, and so it's just doing a lot of affirmations and like just reaffirming more positive outlook into my life and incorporating that and taking that new approach into this prep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Best of luck, pretty lady. You got this.
Yeah, I know. Well, I hope so. It's not the first time, but I feel much better. So
Yeah.
I just want to have fun. You know, if it's not fun, I don't want it.
Yeah, and I think that it'll if you can have fun, it'll show in your physique too, right? Like it'll be more enjoyable. Your stage presence, probably holding less water, like all the benefits. They're going to be there.
And then now that I don't have any distractions, I think like just my charisma on stage will be much more better. Because I can just be myself, my full authentic self.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. We'll chop it up soon. All right.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll see you soon.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, I think 2 weeks. We'll be there on like the 6th or something. I don't know. Kendall will booked everything. I'm just the guy financing it and showing up.
Yeah, you just show up and then just go on autopilot.
Well, cool. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Later.